Hi and welcome to Tales from the GULAG. Today is the 23rd of January 2020 and today is a special day because we celebrate the ta-da! Franzo Awards for 2020. So welcome, and today we acknowledge the infamous, the stupid, the Christophobic and those who stood up to them during 2019 and so made a difference for the better. Well, the awards under consideration come under the following categories, and we'll just recollect those who won these categories last year. First of all, we have the Australian Christophobe of the Year, won by the Premier of the People's Republic of Victoria last year, Daniel Andrews. And then there's the International Christophobe of the Year, Pope Francis. The Corporate Christophobe of the Year last year went to Qantas, Australia's own airline. And Justin Trudeau, the Premier of Canada, was announced as the International Idiot of the Year. I wonder if he'll manage it again this year. And then last year, the Turkiya Award went to Australia's Prime Minister, Malcolm Turnbull. Australian Racist of the Year, and I always have to read this name slowly because it's a long one. The Australian Racist of the last year went to that defender of all races via the Australian Human Rights Commissioner. It was the Commissioner Tim Soutphommasane. So Tim Soutphommasane was the Australian Racist of the Year last year. And then the Stand Up for Jesus Award went to Australia's former great tennis player, now Christian minister, Margaret Court. So without further ado, let the proceedings roll forth, and we begin at home with the Australian Christophobe of the Year. Now, this has been a hotly contested category, and among those under consideration were Raylene Castle and Bill Shorten. So, as a special honorary mention, the Franzos has made the runner-up, Raylene Castle, the Chief Executive Officer of Rugby Australia, the persecutor of Israel Folau, as she had him drummed out not only of that sport, but effectively any sport, for expressing his Christian faith in his own way and in his own time. But the winner for the Franzos 2020 Australian Christophobe of the Year is Bill Shorten. Yay! The former leader of Australian Labor Party. Bill, the leader of Australia's self-described Democratic Socialist Party, has endorsed and defended a number of anti-Christian policies which he sort of forgot to mention during the 2019 election, but fortunately enough, Australians managed to see through it and so voted for Scott Morrison and the Liberal Party. But Bill's Christophobia came to the fore during an election debate with his counterpart, where he thought he had a good cheap shot asking ScoMo if he thought that gays were going to go to hell. Of course, what is missed here, including by ScoMo, is that Mr. Shorten was actually applying a religious test for someone to hold public office, kind of a no-no under the Australian Constitution, but what the heck. Thankfully, Shorten didn't win the election and his feigned Christianity has been exposed, but Labor's Christophobic policies live on. So congratulations, Bill Shorten, on winning the Franzos Australian Christophobe of the Year award. And now, for our second category, the International Christophobe of the Year. Again, there are many deserving recipients who waged war on Jesus, and good luck on that one, guys. But can we have the envelope, please? And the International Christophobe of the Year for 2020 goes to, congratulations, Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping, President and, let's say, Führer of the world's largest officially atheist communist state, has worked vigorously to destroy Christianity in China, just at a time when the world was beginning to think that the commos were nice, fun-loving people after all, that they might be relaxing and just might be okay, nice guys after all. But no. Crosses and public displays of faith are forgiven. Churches are required to hang photos of the beloved leaders up in their churches. And question, does a dartboard count? And Christians are required to teach the virtues of socialism with Chinese characteristics. Sig Heil kind of sounds like socialism with German characteristics, doesn't it? That was espoused in Germany in the 1930s and 40s. And of course, all offenders will get time in the Gulag, and who knows, they may have their organs forcefully harvested for the profit of Xi Jinping and the Chinese Communist Party, just like what happens to the Uyghurs and the practitioners of Falun Gong, and to many other naughty people who dare to think for themselves. So well done, Xi Jinping, and we will see you in Jesus' court. Good luck on that one. And now to our next category, the Corporate Christophobe of the Year. Ta-da! And our winner for 2020 is Qantas. Well done, Alan Joyce and Qantas, on winning this award for 2 years in a row. Count them. 2. Qantas's outstanding efforts in the world of Christophobia have come to the fore when they, as the main sponsors of Rugby Australia, had one of the players sacked because he stood up for Christian teachings. So well done, Alan Joyce and the crew at Qantas. Just don't expect me to fly with you anytime soon, okay? And now, our next category, International Idiot of the Year. Well, again, the competition for this prestigious award is fierce, with many worthy contenders, like last year's winner, Justin Trudeau, or as it may be to the Canadian people who actually re-elected him. Or it could be AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who turns out to be wrong every time she opens her mouth, and the list goes on. Of course, a strong contender who deserves an honourable mention is Greta Thunberg, but unfortunately her youth precludes her from being a recipient. But hang in there, Greta, and keep on doing what you do, and I'm sure that you might pick up this award when you turn 18. So meanwhile, I agree, yes, you should be in school. So let's see who gets to be Franzo's International Idiot of the Year for 2020. Can we have the envelope, please? And congratulations to Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi, affectionately known around here as Nancy Palooka, has made herself a complete idiot over the Trump impeachment saga. From the day Trump was sworn in, his critics, including Nancy, were calling for his impeachment before he had even managed to do anything wrong in office. Following the complete fizzle, that was the Mueller investigation. It was still impeachment. Find me a crime. Any old crime will do. And then the goods came in. Thanks to Ukraine and the Bidens, they finally felt they had something that they could sell to themselves, if not to the American people. But let's not allow facts to get in the way of a good impeachment, hey? But instead, the facts, being the naughty rascals that they often are, tend to come out, and not even a completely rigged process could keep them at bay. So the impeachment had to plough on because there was a tight schedule to keep, and the antics kept on and on. So that way Nancy has managed to make a complete buffoon of herself, and so well done to Nancy Pelosi, the International Idiot of the Year for 2020. Keep it up, Nancy. Just keep on being who you are, and maybe we look forward to seeing you again in 2021. Our next category may have to be expanded next year, say to the International Racist of the Year, because I have had no envelope for the Australian recipient. Now, this is disappointing, because I remember the days when you could walk the city streets and notice the odd flyer from the likes of the neo-Nazis and the real white supremacists that sported things like "Stop the Asian Invasion" and that kind of thing. But these days, these groups are remarkably quiet. So what happened to the idea that we are an inherently racist country? But hang on, folks. An envelope has just arrived, and let's see who is the Australian Racist of the Year award. Oh my! It is Ken Wyatt, Minister for Aboriginal Affairs. Well done, Ken. His proposal, following the election victory for ScoMo's Liberal government, was that special constitutional recognition be given to Indigenous people, that is, the Aborigines, to the extent that they effectively would have their own parliament, which would have the power to potentially sit in judgment on everything that the real parliament does, thus giving one group of people special privileges before the law, which is based on race, and I think that's kind of racist, isn't it? So congratulations, Ken Wyatt, for this well-deserved award, keeping alive the tradition of good old Australian racism. Keep up the good work, Ken. And now for the Takia Award. Of course, politics is an activity that produces a steady crop of liars and crooks. The term Takia is taken from an Islamic concept that lies are acceptable when it comes to the defence or the advance of Islam. But here we apply the term for those who use this principle to any political ideology, especially when it comes to the bum buddies of Islam, the socialist left. And who is the recipient of this year's Takia Award? Why? It is that sucky organisation which sucks so much that it actually inhales vigorously. Como News Network, CNN. Yay! Whether it be leading the way in Russian collusion hoaxes or fabricated stories about the sexual rampages of Brett Kavanaugh or the nefarious racist activities of the Covington Catholic High School boys, CNN is right there in the forefront, not only getting it wrong every time, but actually making up lies in support of their cause and actually proudly doing it for a worthy cause, that is, world domination by the globalist leftists. So well done, Como News Network, CNN, keep it up, keep on sucking. And now, for the Franzo Stand Up for Jesus Award. Now, we live in a world that has always hated Jesus and his followers, and it's a world where Jesus' followers are routinely put to death. But today we celebrate a Christian rugby player who was prepared to put his career and livelihood on the line by asserting that all sinners will go to hell and that they are saved by Jesus Christ. Israel Folau receives this year's Stand Up for Jesus Award by asserting the right to tell the truth and making it officially okay once again to tell the truth about Jesus. The case against him helped keep out of office those who would suppress the gospel in our country and has helped to invigorate the debate on religious freedom, which actually, if you think about it, is the freedoms for everybody to believe and think for themselves. Further, the treatment that he has received has provided a platform which we have not seen for a very long time on mainstream media to present the gospel by some of his advocates, the likes of Martin Iles and the Australian Christian Lobby. So well done, Izzy. May God bless you. Jesus loves you. Jesus loves all of you, even the bigots, the Christophobes, the hypocrites and the fools. Jesus loves you. May you also come to know Jesus. See you again in 2021, if not before.